Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be, wherever you are, wherever you're tuning in from, wherever you're listening on YouTube, welcome. This is the Daily Takeaway, episode 14. This is about Amber Heard. I think most people have heard of Amber Heard by now, if you pardon the pun, have heard of Amber Heard. She was in a relationship with Johnny Depp, as you know, as you may well have heard, and they've since been divorced. But what people know about her is that she's essentially lied about domestic abuse, and that has damaged the reputation of women who are victims of domestic abuse. Not only that, she's also damaged the sort of reputations of men who come forward and claim about domestic abuse, or at least men who are said to be domestic abusers, wrongfully so. In the case of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, it's a very public domestic abuse case because she told the newspapers wrote about it. Johnny Depp then filed a high-profile libel case against the publishers of the Sun newspaper over a 2018 article that described him as a wife beater. And the actor announced that he had been asked to resign from the upcoming Fantastic Beasts 3. As you know, then the Danish actor Mads Mikkelsen, who is great, by the way, got to say, no offense to Johnny, he wasn't really missed in Fantastic Beasts. Not really. Mads does an amazing job, as he always has done. And he was officially named as Depp's replacement in November of 2018, after weeks of speculation over who would take the role. Depp had denied the claims of abuse, but was once again denied permission to appeal the court's ruling back in March 2021. A Court of Appeal judges said that the original hearing was full and fair, and that the trial judge gave thorough reasons for his conclusion, which have not been shown even arguably to be of any error or of approach or mistake of the law. Depp has previously been in relationships with Winona Ryder from 1989 to 1993, Kate Moss from 1994 to 1998, Vanessa Paradis from 1998 to 2012, but he struck up a relationship with Heard soon after meeting her on the set of the 2009 film The Rum Diary. Meanwhile, Heard was in a relationship with photographer and painter Tassia Van Ree for 4 years from 2008 to 2012. In 2009, Depp met Heard on the set of The Rum Diary. Depp starred as Paul Kemp, a journalist who takes a job in Puerto Rico in The Rum Diary, based off of the Hunter S. Thompson's book of the same name. Thompson was Depp's real-life friend and idol. Heard played Chanot, a woman engaged to another man, who Kemp is immediately smitten with as soon as he sees her. Heard told Vogue in 2011 that working with Johnny was torture. It was better than she ever imagined, which is really saying something. That's odd, isn't it? Working with Johnny was torture. It was better than I ever imagined. Interesting. Then Depp and Heard, hey Nuclear Grandma, welcome to the chat. If you want to tune in and join in on this discussion about Amber Heard, Me Too movement, domestic violence, If you have any opinions, feel free to jump onto Discord and join in. Depp and Heard were dating by the early 2012. And there's a picture here which I will show those that are watching. Oh, okay, she's got a massive cold. Everybody, wish her well. I hope you get well soon. This is the picture of Johnny Depp with his ex-partner Vanessa Paradis. It says here, in a court filing, Heard wrote that she and Depp began dating around the end of 2011 or the start of 2012. It was also in 2012 that Depp and longtime partner Vanessa Paradis publicly announced their separation after 14 years of dating. Depp had two children with Paradis, Lily Rose and John Christopher. Heard split up with her partner, that painter, Tassia Van Ree, at the same time. USA Today reported that Heard was arrested in 2009 on charge of physically assaulting then-girlfriend Van Ree at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport in Washington. Arrested and charged. 1 second, there's somebody at the door. I need to double check who this is. It's probably another cold call. As I assumed, it was someone giving leaflets. I'm back. I do apologise. So, already in 2009, Heard has demonstrated the capacity to physically beat her partner. And it seems like I didn't actually know Tassia Van Ree was a woman. I didn't know that. I didn't know Amber Heard was bisexual. Well, learn something new every day. So she's already demonstrated that she is physically abusive to her partner. The two got into a disagreement after Heard allegedly grabbed and hit Van Ree's arm. All charges were dropped, however, with Van Ree herself saying that Heard was wrongfully accused by cops who misinterpreted and over-sensationalized the incident. Fair enough. So I take back what I just said. I should have continued reading. In 2014, Heard was spotted wearing an engagement ring. That is quite an engagement ring. That is one hefty ring. I can imagine very expensive. People magazine reported that Depp and Heard were engaged after a picture emerged of the actress wearing an ornate engagement ring. It does look very nice. Amber Heard's engagement ring is the rock that sunk the Titanic. Depp himself seemed to confirm the engagement in a video interview with the Daily Mail, after discussing wedding plans and pointing out that he was wearing a chick's ring on his finger. It is probably a dead giveaway, isn't it? Not very subtle, Depp said. In 2015, Depp and Heard married in a private ceremony. After several years of dating, Depp and Heard married in a very private ceremony in their home in LA, with people reporting photos. Later in 2015, Depp and Heard breached Australia's biosecurity laws. If you remember, this has something to do with the dogs, after they failed to declare their dogs, the Yorkshire Terriers, when they arrived in the country. They released an apology video together. I remember this was big news. Very silly of them. They have the money to pay for this sort of stuff, get this sort of stuff sorted, and they didn't. In 2016, Heard filed for the divorce from Depp and accused him of physical abuse. On May 23, 2016, Heard filed for divorce from Depp and 4 days later obtained a temporary restraining order against the Oscar-nominated actor. She alleged that Depp had physically abused her during their relationship and said that it was usually while under the influence of drugs or alcohol. She alleged that on May 21st, before filing for divorce, an incident had recently taken place in which Depp threw his phone at her, leaving her with a bruised face. However, a police spokesman told People that an investigation into the domestic incident radio call found that no crime had taken place. Depp denied these accusations and, through his representative, said Heard was attempting to secure a premature financial resolution by alleging abuse. I wouldn't be surprised that she's in it for a quick buck. And what better way than to marry somebody that has a lot of money, claim domestic abuse, file for divorce, and get half of his money, half of his estate. A $7 million settlement was reached out of court on August the 16th, 2016. Interesting. So he settled for $7 million, even though that there was no evidence of a crime taking place. Okay. Heard testified under oath at a deposition, but a settlement was eventually reached after she withdrew her request for a domestic violence restraining order. She also rescinded her spousal support request of $50,000 a month. Depp and Heard also released a joint statement saying, Our relationship was intensely passionate and at times volatile, but always bound by love. Neither party has made false accusations for financial gain. It continued, There was never any intent of physical or emotional harm. Heard received $7 million from the divorce, but donated it to charity, according to People. In 2017, the divorce was finalized. You can see here that Johnny Depp looks he still looks good there, young, healthy. And if you see what he looks like now after the trial and the case and the accusations and losing his job, he's aged like 20 years. Stress does that to you. Stress is a killer. And he was clearly stressed. And undeservedly so. Depp and Heard's divorce was finalized a year after Heard filed. Heard kept the dogs that were at the center of the 2015 scandal in which the couple failed to declare the animals in Australia. Meanwhile, Depp retained sole possession of all properties, including his private island in the Bahamas, as well as his collection of classic cars and motorcycles. The Hollywood Reporter reported that a non-disparagement clause was inserted into the settlement that prevented either party from saying anything negative about the high-profile relationship and breakup. In 2018, Heard wrote an op-ed for the Washington Post saying she was abused. This is, Heard alleges that Depp physically abused her, The Sun UK. Heard wrote an op-ed for the Washington Post in which she spoke about the treatment of women in domestic abuse cases. In the op-ed, Heard wrote, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out. Depp himself was never mentioned by name. In 2019, Depp sued Heard for $50 million for defamation over the WAPO article. WAPO. The suit said that Heard is not a victim of domestic abuse. She is a perpetrator, and denied that Depp ever abused her. Instead, the suit said that Heard's allegations were part of an elaborate hoax to generate positive publicity for the actress. Depp's lawyers said the op-ed depended on the central premise that Ms. Heard was a domestic abuse victim and that Mr. Depp perpetrated domestic violence against her. In a court filing that attempted to dismiss Depp's defamation suit, Heard detailed multiple instances of alleged abuse that she had occurred during their marriage and referred to him as the monster, per Variety. Here we have a picture in Insider.com of billionaire, maybe even almost trillionaire mogul Elon Musk and fellow actor, since disgraced, James Franco. I believe he's now no longer in Hollywood due to sexual abuse claims. Depp has claimed that Heard had affairs with James Franco and Elon Musk. Hello, everybody. Hello, Pads. Thanks for the raid, my guy. We're just discussing Amber Heard. We're just going through the timeline of Amber Heard right now, and we've just gotten to the point where Amber Heard has written an op-ed in the newspaper. For those of you that know about Amber Heard, she lied about being hit. Hello, Mikey. Hello, Pad, and everybody else. She lied about domestic abuse, and that's had two effects, primary effects. One, it's damaged the reputation of women worldwide who claim to be domestically abused. Two, it's damaged the reputation of men worldwide who have been wrongfully accused. So this whole case it's messed it up for everybody. And she clearly lied and fabricated a lot of the domestic abuse. And as so, she was doing it to get money. So we've just gotten to the point where it's alleged that Johnny Depp has claimed that Heard had affairs with James Franco and Elon Musk while they were together. Heard claimed that she still had scars on her arm and feet from an incident where Depp allegedly threw a ping pong table and dragged her through broken glass. The suit is still ongoing in the United States. I think if that really did happen, threw a ping pong table at her, how do you throw a ping pong table at her? Is Johnny Depp really that strong? Fucking hate playing ping pong. Bitch. Like, and then it doesn't sound like Johnny to just grab her by the limb and just drag her. Where'd the broken glass come from? The suit is still ongoing. In 2020, phone recordings were released in which Heard admitted to hitting Depp. It's weird that this woman, on many occasions, recorded her phone calls. She recorded her phone calls and interactions with Johnny all the time, primarily during arguments. It's almost as if she was riling him up enough to then have her record, hopefully to get incriminating evidence to support her BS, and then go to the papers with it. She did that many times with these phone calls. She always used to take pictures as well. Just a random picture every now and again, and claim that Johnny beat her and show bruises on her face and black eyes, and they're heavily edited photos. In January, phone recordings obtained by the Daily Mail were released. How are they obtained? Did she give them to them? Probably. In these recordings, Heard admitted to hitting Depp. Heard is saying, "I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. I was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you." Meanwhile, Depp said in the recording, "I left last night. Honestly, I swear to you, because I just couldn't take the idea of more physicality, more physical abuse on each other. Because had we continued it, it would have gotten effing bad. And baby, I told you this once. I'm scared to death. We are effing crime scene right now," Depp continued. Heard replied, "I can't promise you I won't get physical again. God, I effing sometimes get so mad I lose it." Okay. It sounds like both of them had massive issues. On July the 7th, 2020, the 3-week libel trial began. Depp fought news group newspapers, the publishers of The Sun, and in court over the 2018 article in which they called him a wife beater. That's just, you can't do that. The papers are so irresponsible. But we know the papers write about rubbish. They write these sort of polarizing headlines to get people to buy the papers, and they don't care what they write. If they cared what they write, they would have put wife beater, because there's no proof. There's just one woman come out and go, oh yeah, by the way, Johnny Depp beat me. You mean the Johnny Depp? Yeah, the Johnny Depp. And then they write a newspaper and ruined his entire life pretty much from it. The people, they should be held responsible, but they never are. In which they called him a wife beater in reference to Depp and Heard's former marriage. Yeah, they do, don't they? Without fact checking. It's shocking. Depp sued both the publisher and The Sun's executive editor Dan Wootton for libel. And here's a picture of Johnny Depp arriving at the High Court in London in July 2020. It says here, Depp is back in the witness box for a third day at the trial of his libel suit against the tabloid newspaper that called him a wife beater. Depp is suing News Group newspapers, publisher of The Sun, and the paper's executive Dan Wootton over a 2018 article that said he'd physically abused ex-wife Amber Heard. He strongly denies ever hitting Heard. Picture is provided by the Associated Press, and it's Johnny Depp here in a dark blue suit with a blue tie with lighter blue and yellow sort of shapes on it, a black shirt, and he's wearing a bandana. And this is dark tinted sunglasses, hair down, but his hair is his natural colour, I believe. Ryder and Parody both provided statements in Depp's defence. These are both of his ex-girlfriends and ex-wives. Ryder wrote, "The idea that he is an incredibly violent person is the furthest thing from the Johnny I know and loved. I cannot wrap my head around these accusations." Meanwhile, Parody wrote that Heard's accusations are nothing like the true Johnny I have known, and from my personal experience of many years, I can say that he was never violent or abusive to me. I think Johnny Depp was pushing back at a violent person that was trying to be violent towards him, and in an effort to defend himself, both from physical and verbal abuse, he would push back. Because if you don't push back, then you just get trampled. And he would just get trampled by this woman, who would then see that she can get away with it. No man should ever sit there and take it. No woman should ever sit there and take it. It shouldn't happen in the first place, put it that way. The trial began in early July and lasted 3 weeks. Depp alleged that Heard defecated in his bed and punched him, which Heard denies. Depp also accused Heard of having extramarital affairs with James Franco and Elon Musk, which Heard also denies. Heard, meanwhile, accused Depp of physically abusing her, and has also accused him of throwing a phone at her face, which she says left her bruised. Furthermore, Heard said that Depp threatened to kill her on several occasions. On November the 2nd, the court ruled against Depp in the libel trial. And here we have a photograph of Johnny Depp at the High Court in London, this time wearing a black and white suit with the same bandana, I believe, black tie, white shirt. Picture by Reuters, or I think they pronounce it Routers. 3 months after the blockbuster trial began, Judge Mr. Justice Nichol ruled that The Sun was correct in reporting that Depp was violent towards his ex-wife Amber Heard. In reaching his ruling, Nichol referred to 14 separate incidents that the Sun lawyers cited to justifying calling Depp a wife beater. Following the ruling, a spokesman for the Sun said the Sun has stood up and campaigned for the victims of domestic abuse for over 20 years. Domestic abuse victims must never be silenced, and we thank the judge for his careful consideration and thank Amber Heard for her courage in giving evidence to the court. In a statement seen by the BBC, Heard's lawyer in the US said, for those of us present for the London High Court trial, the decision and judgment are not a surprise. Very soon, we will be presenting even more voluminous evidence in the US. We are committed to obtain justice for Amber Heard in the US court and defending Ms. Heard's right to free speech. Johnny Depp has strenuously denied all claims that he was violent towards Heard, and in a statement published shortly after the ruling, his lawyers said the decision is as perverse as it is bewildering. And it's here, quote, most troubling is the judge's reliance on the testimony of Amber Heard and correspondingly discard the mountain of counter-evidence from police officers, medical practitioners, her own former assistant, other unchallenged witnesses, and an array of documentary evidence which completely undermined the allegations point by point. It says here, all of this was overlooked. The judgment is so flawed that it would be ridiculous for Mr. Depp to not appeal this decision. In the meantime, we hope that in contrast to this case, the ongoing libel proceedings in America are equitable, with both parties providing full disclosure rather than one-sided strategically cherry-picking what evidence can and cannot be relied upon. Depp has also launched a $50 million case against Heard in the US over a column she penned for the Washington Post about her experience as a victim of domestic violence. While Depp is not named in Heard's piece, his legal team insists that this is strongly inferred that the article is about him. It says 4 days later, on November the 6th, Johnny announced that he has been asked to resign from his role as Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts 3. And we have a picture here of him playing Gellert Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts by Warner Brothers. Depp will no longer portray the controversial dark wizard Grindelwald in the upcoming Fantastic Beasts film. In a statement posted to his Instagram on November the 6th, 4 days after the conclusion to his libel case, he wrote in a typed letter, I wish to let you know that I have been asked to resign by Warner Bros. From my role as Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts, and I have respected and agreed to that request. Heard, Mikey says in chat, Heard now has to sell her house. She owes Johnny Depp $8.3 million. She should owe him a lot more than that, with how much money he's lost. If she remains in Hollywood, I will be amazed. It will say a lot about Hollywood if they keep her around. He continued, finally I wish to say this. The surreal judgment of the court in the UK will not change my fight to tell the truth, and I confirm that I plan to appeal. My resolve remains strong, and I intend to prove that the allegations against me are false, Depp added. My life and career will not be defined by this moment in time. And as it shouldn't be. His career should be defined by what he's done on film. His life, maybe that's up for negotiation. But the third film in the Fantastic Beasts saga has already begun production, but in a statement published shortly after Warner Bros. Confirmed his departure to Variety in a statement. We thank Johnny for his work on the films to date, the studio said. After weeks of speculation, Danish actor Mads Mikkelsen was officially named as Depp's successor, which, by the way, was a great choice because Mads Mikkelsen is mad cracked as a actor. He's really good playing those sort of troubled characters. He did Hannibal in the TV show Hannibal Um, I've got to say, having watched Fantastic Beasts 3 twice, um, Mads is a better fit for the role. He's much better as Grindelwald than Johnny Depp, I've got to say. I didn't miss Johnny Depp at all. I immediately accepted Mads as Grindelwald straight away. Which is weird, isn't it? That it's weird. Um, so you've not watched it yet, so you can't make judgment. It's really, it's good in my opinion. Sorry, I'm loading up things that I shouldn't be loading up. I apologize. I accidentally clicked something. Um, it's really good. He did a good job, but I prefer Depp. Really, you prefer Depp? Oh, I preferred Mads. Don't think you've seen the show Hannibal. Is it still about the same thing? Mikey asked Pads. Um, it's still about eating and consuming people. um, despite being ousted from the film and only shooting one scene since filming started in September the 20th in the UK, the Hollywood Reporter claimed that Depp will still receive full compensation for the next installment. Wow. So he still got paid. Per his pay or play contract, which states that he be fully compensated whether or not the film is made, and even if it is recast, Depp will receive an 8-figure sum for his work. That is absolutely insane. While we're on an ad break, I'm going to wait for everyone to come back. After the forced ad break, I will continue this for the viewers. So I'll just start chatting about stuff. That's mad that his contract said that even if he did or didn't work, he'd still get paid. That's an epic contract. How he managed to negotiate that. If I don't work, I still want being paid 8 figures. 8 figures. 8 figures being tens of millions, potentially. But minimum 10 million. For that's just mad. Absolutely mad. We've got 12 seconds left of this commercial ad break. Forced on me by Twitch. I apologise. I'm not in control of Twitch. And we're back. Hello, everyone that was forced to watch those ad breaks. I do apologise. Out of my hands. That's not something I can control. The next ad break is in 28 minutes. So I'll try to ram in as much as I can in the next 28 minutes before you're forced to watch ads. As I was saying, he got paid at least 10 million for doing nothing, essentially, which is great. Who doesn't like that? Depp was denied the right to appeal by the court's ruling. Here we have a photograph that says underneath that actor Johnny Depp's centre is surrounded by fans as he arrives at the High Court in London on July the 16th, 2020. Depp is suing the news group publisher The Sun and the paper's executive, Dan Wooden, over a 2018 article that called him a wife beater. The Sun's defense relies on a total of 14 allegations by his ex-wife. He strongly denies all of them. And this photograph is just surrounded by people with their phones, with pieces of paper, COVID masks, Johnny Depp wearing a grey suit, light shirt with a polka dot dark blue tie, and he's still wearing the same bandana. Johnny Depp and his legal team hoped to overturn the court's ruling with an appeal, but in a statement that was made public on the 25th of November, Judge Nicol refused to grant Depp the permission to appeal against his judgment, saying, "I do not consider that the proposed grounds of appeal have a reasonable prospect of success." Sort of winds you up, doesn't it, this judge? The judge also ordered Depp to make an initial payment of £634,000 to the News Group newspapers, publishers of The Sun, to cover its legal fees. Depp still has until December the 7th to apply for an appeal above Judge Nicol at the Court of Appeal. It doesn't, does it? It sounds like this judge has it in for Johnny. Or he's just blinded by the fact that he's been handed 14 cases of cherry-picked instances that make Johnny Depp sound like a monster. In March 2021, Depp was once again denied permission to appeal against the High Court ruling by the Court of Appeals in London, so he was denied again. There's a photograph here of Johnny Depp in a grey suit, black tie, black scarf, bandana pulled down over his mouth now, so he shows his mouth and chin. Looking a little more grey than he used to. Hair not quite as nice. Depp and his lawyers submitted an application to the Court of Appeals in London, the second highest court in the land, to obtain permission to contest the High Court ruling that he assaulted his ex-wife Amber Heard. However, the Court of Appeal judges denied Depp's application, saying the original hearing was full and fair, and that the trial judge gave thorough reasons for his conclusions which have not been shown, even arguably, to be of any error or of approach or mistake of the law. Again, okay, I'm struggling to understand this. During the evidence given at the application hearing, Depp's lawyers said that they had not received a fair trial and presented fresh evidence that alleged Amber Heard lied about donating her full $7 million divorce settlement to charity. She did say that. She did claim that she had given it to charity. People that are nice and give to charity don't announce that they give to charity. I believe that's true, that they just don't announce it. Oh, by the way, I gave this money to charity, so praise me. You know what I mean? It just doesn't seem... I don't think genuine people do that. Depp's lawyer, Andrew Caldecott, QC, told the court that Heard's claim about the donation was a calculated and manipulative lie. It does sound like it, doesn't it? That tipped the scales against Mr. Depp from the very beginning, The Guardian reported. A representative for Heard said her camp was pleased, but not surprised by the court's denial of Depp's application to appeal. The evidence presented in the UK case was overwhelming and undeniable, a rep told The Guardian. Heard and Depp's $100 million libel suit begins on April the 11th. I think this is the one that was televised on TV. See here, Johnny Depp still looks pretty young here. So we have a photograph here just after this title that's in 2016. Amber Heard shared a later accusing Johnny Depp of domestic violence. Photo is on Getty Images. What does Mikey say? 100% those that give it for the benefit of the unfortunate do it anonymously because they don't want publicity. Those that do it and announce it want the publicity. Yeah. Want to come across like an angel or a kind-hearted soul. I mean, when I give to charity, I don't tell people, oh yeah, by the way, 10 minutes ago I got stopped by the NSPCC and I gave money to them. Do you give money to charity? Oh, you don't? You're disgusting. Shame on you. An insider previously reported that Depp filed a defamation suit against Heard in response to an op-ed that she wrote for the Washington Post, which detailed her experience with domestic violence. Depp's name isn't mentioned, but the article was widely interpreted as being about him. How could it not be about him? She was smart enough not to name him, because then that would be another libel suit. In January 2021, Heard countersued Depp for $100 million after her motion to move the case to California was denied. So they're both suing each other for $100 million. I don't even think Heard has $100 million. It's definitely not the case if she's needing to sell her house to pay Johnny Depp $8.3 million. Mikey says, I don't give to charity because he doesn't know where it goes. If I see a homeless man, I'll go buy him food and a drink. Yeah, sometimes I do exactly the same thing. If somebody's in need, rather than giving him money for booze, I'll drink a sandwich or something. Usually. Here it says, Insider Zara previously reported that Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk and actor James Franco are among the high-profile celebrities due to testify during the case. Musk and Franco were dragged into a legal dispute after Depp accused Heard of having 2 extramarital affairs with them while he was still with him, an insider previously reported. So she was doing the dirty already. Page 6 also reported that WandaVision star Paul Bettany, actor Ellen Barkin, and representatives from Disney and Warner Bros. Will give evidence to the court. The publication also reported that new evidence will be introduced in court, including unseen police body cam footage from an altercation between Depp and Heard. If you saw this case and saw that footage, 2 police officers go to the apartment, Johnny Depp's apartment, and knock on the door and ask around, and they look around the apartment to see if anything's amiss, if there's any damage, if there's been any sign of a domestic abuse, and nothing was out of the ordinary. And I think they even apologized for wasting the police time. They come back a second time. I can't remember if they came back a second time on the same day, but nothing has changed, and they just leave. And then Amber Heard releases photographs of the trashed apartment with lots of things being smashed, tables overturned, glasses smashed, mess all over the floor, smashed wine bottles outside the apartment with visible wine stains in the hallways, and all of this lot. And she said that those photographs were taken when that was the state of the apartment when the police arrived. Not realizing that the police had body cam footage, which then proved that her accusations, or proved that her story at least, was false. That no, these events didn't actually happen when you said that they happened. So she was setting all of this stuff up with her friends. They were setting Johnny up, which is just malicious and premeditated. The court case began with opening statements from Heard and Depp's lawyers. I'm sure we can listen and watch some of this stuff. In opening statements, Heard's lawyer told the jury that Depp is going to try and turn this case into a soap opera, referencing his tumultuous relationship with Heard. The lawyer continued that this lawsuit is centered around the question of whether Heard was exercising her First Amendment right of free speech by writing an op-ed for the Washington Post about her experience with domestic violence, to which the lawyer says the answer is very clearly yes. At one point during the proceedings, Rottenborn, the lawyer, read out the full op-ed and argued that it was clear that the article wasn't meant to drudge up allegations against Depp, but to speak about an issue impacting pending legislation. Rottenborn argued that if Heard intended to describe her relationship with Depp, believe me, the article would have looked very, very different. She could fill a book with those details. She would have told you about the monster, but she didn't. That wasn't the point of the article, Rottenborn said, because Johnny Depp brought this case. All of that is going to come out. Just know that Amber Heard didn't want to unearth for the public who the real Johnny Depp is. You'll see the real Johnny Depp behind the pirate costume. It's just, I don't know why they do this, you know? Lawyers are just, in this case, just professional liars. Very high paid professional liars. Depp's lawyer, Benjamin Chew, blasted Heard as a liar, saying in court that her accusations ruined Depp's career and alienated him from producers who once favoured the movie star. That's so true. As soon as she said that, Disney dropped him. He was no longer in the new Pirates of the Caribbean. There is no Pirates of the Caribbean without Johnny. Fact. I wouldn't watch it if it wasn't for Johnny. Johnny's portrayal is just funny. He's not in Fantastic Beasts. So he's lost 2 jobs. That's a lot of money. And potentially he would have been drummed out of Hollywood as a wife beater and never be worked with again. It's like, it's mad. Johnny Depp's lawyer Benjamin, quote here, when, like Mr. Depp, your career depends on your image and your reputation, or whether movie producers want their movie associated with you, that can be particularly harmful. By choosing to lie about her husband for her own personal benefit, Amber Heard chose to ruin his reputation. So we have a picture here of Johnny Depp as he took to the stand in court and said that Heard had a need for violence during their relationship. It's a picture of Johnny Depp just sat down in front of one of the screens with a microphone in his face, hand raised, grey suit, black shirt, black and silver tie, still looking relatively young here. Still relatively young. On the stand, April 20th, 2022, Depp said that Heard was the real abuser in their relationship, and the change in their relationship started with her making little digs and demeaning name-calling. She does seem like the type, doesn't she? She'd always, you're just a little bitch, Johnny. Stop being a little bitch. One of the things that came out was an audio recording of them during a therapy session, I believe, where she mocks Johnny by calling him a pussy and says, you're such a little bitch, Johnny. You're such a pussy. Why don't you just run back to your security guard? Because Johnny used to call his security on his own wife. If that doesn't tell you enough about the relationship, I don't know what does. He had to call his own security to protect him from his wife. And he'd hide behind his security because she'd become violent. And she would tell him that he's a pussy and a bitch for hiding behind his security. But make that what you will. Depp said that he felt that he was suddenly wrong about everything and suffered an endless parade of insults. The actor added that sometimes these arguments would escalate to violence with Heard, who said, has a need for violence, shoving him or throwing a glass of wine in his face. When these arguments would start, Depp said he would try to extricate himself from the situation, sometimes locking himself in the bathroom just to get away from Heard. This came up again when she said that she punched Johnny and then severed his finger or something by throwing a bottle at him after she tried to get into the bathroom that Johnny was hiding inside. And she said Johnny, in an attempt to prevent her from gaining access, pushed the door and it ran over her toe and she essentially stubbed her toe, and that made her furious and she started becoming extremely violent. Depp also said that his relationship with Heard, as well as what he described as her frequent verbal attacks, often contributed to his use of alcohol and drugs. I was more inspired by Miss Heard to reach out for a numbing agent because of the constant clashes, he said. I had to have something to distance me and distance my heart from those verbal attacks. Depp said a possessed Heard severed his finger with a vodka bottle after an argument. And there is a picture of like the top of his finger being severed. I think they did a good job by sewing it back on, because we don't have a close-up, so we don't really know what the state of his finger looks like. But he says like the tip of it is missing. And we have a photograph here for those that are just watching and just listening, but aren't looking at the video. It's got a picture of here of Johnny Depp holding up his hand and pointing to his middle finger. And he said that it says here at the bottom of the picture that Johnny Depp displays his middle finger. Injured while his ex-wife Amber Heard were in Australia in 2015, he testifies during his defamation trial. This was in April 20th, 2022. Depp said the fight in which his finger was severed happened about a month after his 2015 wedding to Heard, when she flew out to Australia to visit him, and as she filmed the fifth installment of the Pirates of the Caribbean, Insider previously reported that Heard arrived in Australia very upset about how a meeting with Depp's lawyers had been conducted, feeling that one of the lawyers she met with had been rude and dismissive. Depp told the court that he had asked his lawyers to discuss a post-nuptial agreement with Heard. Depp said he was staying in a large house in Australia and remembered locking himself at least 9 bedrooms and bathrooms that day, as she was banging on the doors and screaming obscenities and wanting to have physical altercation. She just seems like she always wants to have a fight, which is weird, which is not very feminine. At that point, Depp said he had been sober from drinking for some time, but noted the stress of the situation caused him to go to the bar in the house and pour himself a few shots of vodka. He continued that Heard followed him to the bar and started yelling at him for drinking again, and proceeded to throw the bottle of vodka at him. Depp said the bottle flew past his face and smashed onto the ground behind him. Depp said he then went back to the bar, picked up a larger bottle of vodka, and continued to pour himself another drink. He said Heard picked up that second bottle and threw it at him. At the time, it made contact with his hand, slicing off his middle right finger. Charming woman. It made contact and it shattered everywhere, he said. I honestly didn't feel the pain at first. What I felt was the heat, and I felt as if something were dripping down my hand. When I looked down, I realized the tip of my finger had been severed, and I was looking directly at my bones sticking out of the meaty portion of the inside of your finger. Shock there, preventing him feeling much pain. I didn't want to disclose that it had been Miss Heard that had thrown the vodka bottle at me and then took my finger off, he said. I didn't want to get her in trouble. I tried to just keep things as copacetic and easy as possible for everyone. I didn't want to put her into that mix. Depp testified that Heard or one of her friends defecated in their bed after he broke up with her. So her or one of her friends just went to Johnny Depp's bed and had a shit in his bed. Who does that? Who does that? I effing hate you. Like, actor Johnny Depp testifies at Fairfax Country Circuit Courthouse in Virginia. It's another picture of Johnny Depp wearing the same suit earlier, black suit and tie. Sorry, black suit, shirt, cream tie with black sort of patterns. Depp later testified that Heard was responsible for the fecal matter found on their shared bed after a fight in which he said he was leaving her. The actor alleged that the incident happened following a night after dinner party for Heard's 30th birthday party in 2016. My initial response to that was, I laughed, Depp said, describing the reaction to seeing a photo of the feces. It was so outside, it was so bizarre and so grotesque that I could only laugh. Mikey said, honestly, how can you stay so calm after she severs your finger? I think I'd be on a murder trial if that happened to me. Yeah, I just think it's a testament to Johnny Depp's personality. I don't think he is a violent man. So, and good on him, for having that sort of restraint. Because if it was me, and as you say, if it was you, then I don't know what I would have done, to be honest. I don't think I'm that calm. I don't think I'd hit them, though. I'd probably panic. Look what you've done! And then you're swearing at, but you! And you've got no finger to do it. According to Depp, Heard blamed the fecal incident on Pistol and Boo, her two dogs. An explanation Depp said he found ridiculous. So their dogs pooped in his bed? She brought up the fecal matter on the bed. She tried to blame it on the dogs. They're teacup Yorkies. They weigh about 4 pounds each. I lived with these dogs. I picked up their funk. It was not the dogs. My ads are about to start in 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes' time, I'll just discuss with the chat for a bit. I should really get onto Discord and discuss this with some people on how they think and feel about domestic abuse. Unfortunately, some of the viewers are poorly, so they don't feel like talking, which is understandable. The ACLU said Heard donated 1.3 million of the 3.5 million she pledged to the organisation from her Depp divorce settlement. So she's announced she's donated more money. Or did she not announce it, but the ACLU are? So this is a picture of Amber Heard as she attends her ex-husband Johnny Depp's defamation trial, wearing a dark blue suit and a black and white lined shirt, hair tied back in a ponytail, looking visibly unimpressed. Terence Doherty, the General Counsel and Chief Operating Officer of the ACLU, testified to the organisation that the organisation received 4 donations from Heard, which totaled 1.3 million. Only one of those payments was from Heard directly, a payment for $350,000. Other payments were a check from Depp, a $100,000 check from Depp, $500,000 from a donor-advised fund at Vanguard and an investment manager company, and $350,000 from a donor-advised fund at Fidelity, another investment management company. Doherty said the ASL believed that the $500,000 Vanguard payment was a fund set up by Heard's former partner Elon Musk. So was the donation by Elon Musk or Heard? When Depp and Heard reached a divorce settlement in 2016, Heard announced that she would donate the entirety of a $7 million settlement to charity. She said the money would be split between 2 organizations, the American Civil Liberties Union and Children's Hospital at Los Angeles. A psychologist said Depp forced Heard to give him oral sex and penetrated her with a bottle when he was angry during their relationship. What? Depp forced Heard to give him oral sex and penetrated her with a bottle. Okay. Don't know if I believe that, but stranger things have happened. is a photograph of Amber Heard with her lips turned down, looking a bit sad or faking sadness during the court trial in 2022. Hair a bit messier this time. Dawn Hughes, a clinical psychologist, testified in court that Johnny Depp forced Heard into oral sex instances of sexual violence throughout their relationship. Quote, when Mr. Depp was drunk or high, he'd throw her on the bed, rip off her nightgown, and try to have sex with her. There were times when he forced her to give him oral sex when he was angry. Hughes testified, these weren't in loving moments, these were angry moments. Okay. Hughes provided a testimony in the Fairfax County Court based on 29 hours' worth of clinical interviews with Heard. As well as her review of court transcripts, Hughes said Depp displayed obsessive jealousy and he was a true abuser in the pair's relationship. I don't think so. She continued to detail one specific instance when Depp accused the woman of flirting with Heard and proceeded to take Heard into his trailer and perform a cavity search. What? Ostensibly looking for drugs? I believe that part of the agreement between these two was that no drugs were to be done around Johnny. And she, on many occasions, was seen doing drugs in front of Johnny, knowing full well that Johnny was trying to recover. And she didn't care, so she would smoke drugs in front of him. You don't slowly drink an ice-cold beer in front of a recovering alcoholic and just be like, oh my God, it's so delicious. Wiping their face, going, that hit the spot. Oh, it was gorgeous. You wouldn't do it, would you? So the ads are in progress. So for the subscribers at the moment who are not suffering these ads, I will just have a chat to you for a moment, read some of the messages. How are you all? Are you all good? I've got a minute left on these ads. I do apologise that these ads go on for 90 seconds. They are out of my control. So for those of you that are tuning in on YouTube, won't have this problem. So I don't want 90 seconds of dead air on the YouTube video. So I will just keep talking. So far, I think within about 2 minutes of discovering this case several years ago, maybe not even several years ago, last year and earlier this year, it took me about 2 minutes to realise that Heard was lying. It didn't take very long at all. It was obvious that she was lying and that she was violent. And I don't understand how judges would fall for that. I suppose you have to give it to Amber Heard's lawyers by making, incredible lies, making it believable. Hello everyone and welcome back on Twitch. I do apologise for those ads. That, as I say, they are out of my control. We just got up to the point where Johnny Depp was apparently performing a cavity search, ostensibly looking for drugs. I don't really... Maybe it's possible. He felt it acceptable to rip off her nightgown and stick his fingers up her vagina to look for cocaine, Hughes said. He thought that maybe she would be hiding them there. Okay. She continued. Most severe instances of sexual violence that Miss Heard had to endure was during a fight with Depp in Australia, where the actor penetrated Heard with a vodka bottle. Excuse me. He grabbed a bottle that was on the bar and penetrated her with that bottle, Hughes said. And Miss Heard reported to me of disassociating and ongoing outside her body. had reported to me of disassociating and going outside her body. Hughes said that Depp was beating and choking Heard and telling her that he was going to effing kill you when he grabbed the bottle. The only thing she was thinking is, oh God, I hope this is not the broken one, Hughes said. Why would that still be hanging around? You've got a broken bottle in the house. You know what, let's just keep it around, just in case. Just in case I need to lie about it later on. Hughes later added that the incidents of sexual violence often happened when Depp was in a drug-fueled rage. Heard said she thought Depp was joking the first time he hit her. So here we have a picture of Amber Heard at the trial, wearing dark navy blue a sweater and a top. Heard took the stand for the first time on May 4th, 2022. During her testimony, she was asked by her lawyer whether she recalled the first time Johnny Depp struck her, to which she promptly responded yes. Nuclear Grandma says, to be fair, none of them were completely innocent in their relationship. Only difference is that Depp never pretended to be perfect and admitted to be an arse from time to time. Yeah, he's never pretended to not be human, to not make mistakes, to not become emotional and physical. But I don't believe he ever struck Amber Heard. I don't believe he is the type of person to hit another woman and physically harm her. I think he is the type of person to shout back and be verbal, which I can imagine would only anger Heard more. And perhaps that's why he'd do it, because he wanted to make her angry. It says here, I was sitting on the couch and we were talking. We were having a normal conversation. There was no fighting, no argument, nothing, and he was drinking. Heard began, noting that she believed Depp was also using cocaine at the time because there was a vintage jar of cocaine on the table inside the house. A vintage jar of cocaine? It could be true that this jar could be full of coke, but every cokehead would tell you that that jar of coke wouldn't last that long. Cokeheads like to go on a run, and they just keep it going, but hey-ho. Heard said that she asked Depp about the contents of a tattoo that that he has on his arm. Depp said the tattoo depicted the phrase "we know," Heard testified, at which point she said she laughed, thinking Depp was joking. In response, Heard testified Depp slapped her across the face. What does "we know" mean? When I heard about the jar, I instantly went to the jar of sugar. It said here, Heard said she laughed in the moment because she was unsure what had just happened and thought Depp had been joking. She testified that Depp slapped her a second time and said, "You think it's so funny, bitch. You think you're a funny bitch." The actress said she then realized that Depp had not been joking, but she didn't react because she was unsure of how to respond. Heard said she stared at Depp and he slapped her across the face a third time, at which point she lost her balance. Heard said that Depp once held one of her dogs out of a moving car while she was howling like an animal. And there's a picture of her looking visibly distraught. Just a headshot. Heard testified that Depp once grabbed one of her pet dogs and held it out a moving car while he howled like an animal. The incident, Heard said, came in 2013 after Depp had consumed copious amounts of cocaine and hard liquor throughout the night and repeatedly accused her of infidelity. He grabbed this teacup Yorkie and holds Boo out of the window of the moving car as he's howling like an animal while holding the dog out the window, Heard testified. And everyone in the car, I'll never forget it. Everyone just froze. No one did anything. If he really did do that, that's a little sick, Johnny. That's a little sick. Heard said that she didn't want to react in case she prompted Depp to drop the dogs. What's Depp going to do? Just drop it out and everyone just hears a thud as poor old teacup Yorkie Boo has just been run over by the back tyres. Ha ha ha. Take that. Heard said that, yeah. It was just this eerie moment where he's howling and holding this animal outside the car window, she said. The actress added, she gently pulled Depp's arm back into the vehicle. I'm sure she gently pulled his arm back into the vehicle if he's doing that. I bet she didn't panic and shout at Johnny at all. What do you think you're doing? Give me my dog. Amber Heard said that Johnny Depp hurt himself during fights by cutting his arm and putting cigarettes out on himself. Okay, another picture of Amber Heard here in a suit. As she's wiping one of her wiping her fringe out of her eyeline. Amber Heard said Johnny Depp would often self-harm during fights, using knives to cut himself and put lit cigarettes out on himself. Why? He often in fights would cut his arm or hold a knife to his chest or draw blood, superficially at first. He also put cigarettes out on himself. Why would you do that? Threatening. So confusing. He'd flick them at me once or twice. He'd try to put one out on me, but mostly he would do it while screaming at me. He once did it right in front of me, screaming at my face as he put the cigarette out on his cheek. That would... Right. Cigarettes burn at several hundred degrees. They're really, really, really hot. Surely that it would have burnt and scarred him. I don't know how quick you'd need to be to prevent serious burning when you put a cigarette out on yourself. She said that Depp's self-harming became more frequent as their relationship was ending in 2016. Amber Heard said she befriended Elon Musk after Johnny Depp stood her up at a Met Gala. I've got to be honest though, that is a beautiful picture of her. It is, annoyingly so. A stunning photograph. Amber Heard said she became friends with Elon Musk, whom she later dated after her then-husband Johnny Depp stood her up at a Met Gala red carpet event in 2016. Heard testified that Depp failed to show up at the event, which was held 2 weeks after the couple had an explosive fight. Previously said led to the end of their relationship. On the line for the red carpet, Heard met Tesla and SpaceX CEO said she didn't recognize him at first. I was standing in line right in front of a gentleman. It was Elon. I didn't recognize him until we started talking. He has reminded me that we had met once before. He was with his mother. Heard added that while alone inside a gala, she reconnected with Musk, who was sitting at a nearby table. He was at a nearby table. We got speaking that night, and we eventually became friends. Amber Heard testified that her sister taught Johnny Depp to snort cocaine with a tampon applicator. What? Sis, yeah. Could you do me... Sis, come. Could you do me a massive favour? What's that? Could teach Johnny how to snort cocaine with a tampon applicator. Why? Just do it. You'll find it funny. You'll find it funny. Do it. What? She's teaching Johnny party tricks now. And now for my next trick, ladies and gentlemen. as I make this cocaine disappear with a tampon applicator. Ta-da! Amber Heard said that her sister, Whitney Henrique, taught Johnny Depp to snort cocaine with a tampon applicator during their relationship. The actress was responding to a photo presented in court by one of Depp's lawyers that showed 4 lines of cocaine next to a tampon applicator on the table. Heard said that she took the picture at her apartment in California in 2013. When you snort cocaine, typically it goes into your nose and then it doesn't stay on the table. There's residue from that cocaine when your lips and nose touch the table, right? Depp's lawyer, Camille Vasquez, asked Heard in the reference to the photo. In response, Heard said the tampon applicator next to the driver's license that you see is a device that I believe my sister had taught him to use in order to put cocaine in. Amber Heard once wrote, I want to rip you apart, devour you, and savour the taste in a private letter to Johnny Depp. There's a picture of Amber Heard here under that title, wearing a black and white suit. Well, a black suit and white shirt, hair tied back. Johnny Depp's lawyers presented 2 private letters in court that Heard wrote to the actor alongside an image of the pair on holiday in Australia, from what they described as a series of love journals that Heard had compiled and shared with Johnny. True love isn't about just the madness of passion or instead picking the safety of peace. No, it's about having both, Heard wrote in the first letter. Falling madly in love with you, with your friend, that is what has surprised me perhaps the most, that I have seen you in the true bones of friendship and respect, but I still, of course, more than ever, want to rip you apart, devour you, and savour the taste, fret not. After Depp's lawyer finished reading the letter, she asked Heard whether she had recited her words correctly, to which Heard said, yes, it's a love note. Depp's lawyer moved on to the second letter, which features Heard speaking directly to Depp about conflicts in their relationship. I'm sorry I can get crazy. I'm sorry I hurt you. Like you, I can get wicked when I am hurt, when I feel provoked, shattered, and last night I was. Later in the letter, Heard apologized to Depp for what she described as her part in hurting the actor. There's never a reason good enough to hurt you. You are the last thing in the world that deserves it. The last person in the world who deserves it, she wrote. I love you, Steve. I am forever yours, Slim. Steve? Who the hell's Steve? I thought his name was Johnny. Oh, here we go. Steve and Slim are nicknames Heard and Depp used during their relationship. Right. Hi, Steve. Steve Depp is back as Johnny Depp is back as Captain Jack Sparrow. This summer, Steve Depp. Amber Heard is said James Franco made a last night visit to her apartment after she had a fight with Johnny Depp. So here we have 3 photographs side by side of Amber Heard, James Franco, and Johnny Depp. Amber Heard said that James Franco once visited her apartment late at night after she had a fight with Johnny. Heard was quizzed about the late night visit. When asked why Franco came over, Heard said, because he was my friend and he lived next door, quite literally next door. She added, and I quite literally exhausted my support network with my usual friends, and I was happy to welcome as much friendship at the time as I could possibly get. Heard was then asked about video footage from that night in which Franco can be seen laying on his bed on her shoulder and what interaction could have led to that. After seeing my face, he put his head on my shoulder, he said. He said he touched the side of my face and responded to what he saw. Johnny Depp joked about being able to punch Amber Heard in the face with no repercussions moments after their wedding, according to Heard's former friend. So here we have a photograph of them at some, I presume, some red carpet event. The author, Io Tillett Wright, a former friend of Amber Heard, said that Johnny Depp made the comment about physically assaulting Heard immediately after the pair said "I do" at their 2015 wedding. I was walking with Johnny and congratulating him that they pulled it off. Wright, who served as best man at the ceremony, testified adding that Depp then said, "We're married now. I can punch her in the face and nobody can do anything about it." I'm imagining he's joking. Johnny Depp once asked his former agent to shut down a film because it featured nude scenes with Amber Heard. Picture of Johnny Depp in court here. I think that's a black suit, blue tie, and white, blue, and black. White, blue, and black tie with blue shirt and black blazer. During the testimony, Depp's former agent said the actor romanticized drug culture and had fundamental issues with anger that intensified over time. Before detailing one specific incident when Depp sent her a series of angry all-caps emails instructing her to shut down the 2018 film London Fields over nude scenes featuring Heard. These two just sound really messed up. I mean, I've always thought Johnny Depp is a little bit messed. You know, quirky, but come on. Depp began the exchange by informing Jacobs that the producers of London Fields intended to debut their film at the Toronto International Film Festival, that she should contact them immediately about cutting nude scenes out. It is in Amber's contract that there will be no nudity and her effing agents are weak and insipid, Depp said in the email. Will you please call these mother effers and you and Jake get on this immediately? ? In a follow-up email, Depp added, "It must be shut down or I will sue them 18 ways from effing Sunday. These people are nobodies in the business and they should be made to understand that we will ruin them instantly." Interesting. These people are nobodies. A lawyer who represented Amber Heard during a prenup negotiation said Johnny Depp called her a B ... and tried to fire her while drunk. What has this got to do with violence towards Amber Heard? These just seem irrelevant. But I suppose they serve as evidence that he can be an arsehole. Michelle Mulroney, an attorney who represented Amber Heard during pre- and post-nuptial negotiations with Johnny, said the actor phoned her in the middle of negotiations process and called her a bitch. Mulroney said that Depp called her with his attorney and told her to step away from negotiations using the sexist insult. My recollection is that he was very mean. He called me names, and he fired me on behalf of Amber. My only exact recollection is that he called me a bitch. Johnny Depp said he called Warner Bros. To curb the worries after Amber Heard's Aquaman audition. Yeah, I remember her in Aquaman. Do you? I do remember her in it. It just seemed like that she was meant as a pretty face. Which, I have to admit, she is a pretty face. She's just a terrible person. She wasn't that good, though. No, she wasn't. To be honest, I watched Aquaman for Jason Momoa. To be honest, that man is hot. Okay, that man is hot. While on the stand, Depp said he reached out to Warner Bros. Executives on Amber Heard's behalf following her audition for Aquaman. Amen. You said it, sister. Oh my god, sister. For a few years, I had a multi-film deal with Warner Bros. And so we'd been in business together. So I knew these people. I'd been on films with them. Depp said of his relationship with the film studio. He added that Heard asked me if I could speak to them. I was informed by Ms. Heard that the film was going to be shooting in Australia and that that was a concern to her. He said, when asked what happened after Heard's audition for 2018's Aquaman, Depp said he made a phone call to 3 Warner Bros. Film executives, including former chairman of CEO of Warner Brothers Entertainment, Kevin. I'm not too Sujihara. Sujihara. There we go. Sorry for butchering your name there if you're listening. Former president of marketing, Sue Kroll, and former president of creative development, Greg Silverman, in which he painted a beautiful picture of Heard for them. When asked the result of speaking to the studio, Depp said, I can only say that ultimately she did get the job in the film, so hopefully, I suppose, I had curbed their worries to some degree. So he actually got her the job. Not that she was qualified, not that she was the best for the role. It's that Johnny Depp has clout and knows people and got her the job. Good on him, I guess. Like, please put my wife in the film. But she can't act. Please put my wife in the film. Okay. Sing as though it's you, Johnny. Love you. Love you, bye. A jury found both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard liable for defaming each other. Then there's a picture here of both of them side by side wearing pretty much the same black suit and white tops with a black and red tie for Johnny. Jurors found both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard liable for defamation against each other in a verdict reached Wednesday. They awarded Depp $15 million in damages, and Heard was awarded $2 million from Depp. So she owes him, quick maths there, 1, carry the 2, 3 across, so it's $13 million. Jurors reached a verdict after 6 weeks of trial testimony and less than 3 days of deliberation. Depp, who is currently playing concerts with Jeff Beck in Europe, was not present in court. Due to previously scheduled work commitments made before the trial, Mr. Depp will not be physically present for today's 3 p.m. verdict and will be watching from the United Kingdom, a spokesperson said for Depp. A spokesperson for Heard criticised Depp for his absence. Well, if he's already contractually obliged or has other work commitments and technically doesn't need to be there because the verdict will be given with or without him anyway. It says here, your presence shows where your priorities are, the spokesperson said. Johnny Depp plays guitar in the UK while Amber Heard awaits a verdict in Virginia. Depp is taking his snickering and lack of seriousness on tour. Maybe. Immediately after the verdict, Heard released a statement on social media saying, in part, the disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. Oh my God. This woman. She's either... She sounds delusional. Because I listened to that whole case and I was watching that whole case in part with watching other streamers watch the case. Primarily Asmongold. I don't think anybody in the chat, Asmon, me, or anybody else thought that the verdict was wrong. I was half expecting Johnny to lose because I was just expecting them to side with the women, but thankfully the jury unanimously just said, F you, Heard, like, you're a terrible person. I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. It is a setback, she added. It's set back the clock to a time when women who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. No, she herself has set that back by making false allegations. It's set back the idea of violence against women is to be taken seriously. It is taken seriously. It's taken so seriously, in fact, that Johnny Depp lost his job and livelihood over the lead up to the outcome of this crap. A spokesperson for Depp also reacted